I am back today and we are talking about the Mary Wallopers' new EP, Homeboy's Home. Now, I didn't even notice it came out at all until I saw it on Instagram the other night, the 21st, like midnight, whatever the hell it was. That's when I saw it come up on Spotify, new, releases. It was crazy to hear that, so I listened to it, and it is great. We are going to talk about it now. It is a 3-song 10-minute EP. It's a very short, sweet, nice listen. It's a more folksy-based project compared to their full-fledged albums that feel more built up. This is still a solid project that I want to talk about because it deserves to be talked about. Homeboy's Home is the first track off the EP, and it has a very minimal feeling to it. It didn't feel like it was trying to do something that it wasn't, say by adding effects or whatnot. And one thing I specifically like is how the vocals and the guitars are crystal clear, but yet the drums were in there as well. I'm guessing it was either just a kit working off of the kick drum or a floor tom, or if it was one of those handheld ones with that funky looking stick with it. I forget what the hell it's named. Don't go at me for that. I just know it's cool and I want one. It really didn't feel like that was overtaking, because even though it was more of a bare bones stripped feeling to it, it really helped fill out what the empty space was without being too obnoxious. And next up is the track Bonnie Shipped the Diamond, but it's also in some news sites and all that, they put the Bonnie Shipped the Diamond. I don't know which is which. I'm going off of what Spotify's telling me. And that one's kind of the near opposite, with letting the drums really kick through and make it as powerful as can be, while the guitars kind of help fill in the space with that. I like how I don't know if it's dark feeling, but it definitely has more of a serious tone to it compared to Homeboy's Home, which feels more happy-go-lucky from the outside. This has more of a darker tone to it, but the vocals are super clear in it. Everything really works out well. And the last track, which is one I was surprised about at first, but it works so well. It's a cover of the Pogues song, The Broad Majestic Shannon, and if you don't know that, that was the second to last track off of If I Shall Fall from Grace with God. Off of, I believe that was 87? 87? Yes, I believe 86, 87. I'll put it up on screen here, you'll see it, don't worry. They really did the track justice with another bare bones feeling version compared to the loud finale that it originally was. And yes, I say it is the second to last track on the album, but I don't consider Worms, which is the real finale, to be a finale. It's more of an outro. This feels like the best send-off to the album, so I call it the finale. But Mary Wallopers, they made the song their own and still had the emotion and the feeling within it, while not just copy-pasting, but really just creating something for themselves. They did the same thing with the song Wexford by Pecker Dunn, who was the original, I believe. It's their cover, they really made it their own and made it still powerful, and I feel like they did the exact same thing here. They really did it justice. Now for this one, the ear appeal time. Production was great. Everything was mixed properly. Nothing was out of place, and even with the bare bones stripped feeling, it still held its own. It's its own EP. I love it. I will give it a 6.5 just because of personal preferences. It will stay in my rotation for a bit, probably the next couple weeks or so, but normally projects that are less than 5 tracks for me, I tend to not repeat them as much through my Spotify, but that's a me thing. That's not anything on the album. I will still probably listen to these occasionally as well. Maybe I'll just make a big Mary Wallopers playlist, even though I don't do playlists. But yeah, it's still good. Production wise, it's good. The mixing, everything about it sounds good. And what's interesting is it has a more minimal feeling to it, like I said prior, but it feels like a home recording as well. If someone set up microphones in their house and just went to town. It feels like that. That's the feeling I get from it, instead of just a large production, big studio, multiple takes, blah blah blah. It feels just a sit down home recording, and I love that because it really gives almost a raw live recording sound to it. But obviously it is polished up because you just gotta have it sound good, but they made it unique, and I love that about it. Now for the overall score, I will give this an 8.5. It is worth a listen. Please go check it out, and I hope the Mary Wallopers come out with a full album by the end of the year, if not the beginning of next year. Please, I would love it. I've been loving the last 2 albums, and I need another one. I did see a lot of people in the comments on Instagram. I saw them talking about, like, will this be released on vinyl? Will it be released physically? I would love that. Maybe like a tour CD if they do a CD. I would love them to come to the States, especially the Pennsylvania, Maryland area. I would love to come see that. A lot of people were saying vinyl, and hey, Record Store Day, Black Friday is coming up. Black Friday this year. Maybe we do a 7-inch, probably not a 12-inch, because for one, I hate when bands that have less than 20 minutes of tracks put it on a 12-inch, because then it just hikes up the price like no reason. This being 3 songs, honestly, they could probably put it on one side of a 7-inch, because there are long songs that are on 7-inches. I think they can fit up to 13 minutes per side. Even if not, do 2 tracks one side, another song the other side, maybe a bonus track or whatever. I don't know. There's cool ways they could do it, and I would totally eat it up if it was available Record Store Day, especially like in the States. But yeah, that's what I gotta say about it. Thank you so much for tuning into this. I will have another review coming up very soon. It was supposed to be Suicide Boys New World Depression this week, but that'll be released Tuesday, Wednesday. So if you like it, let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever. See you in the next one.